Hey folks, welcome to our lesson. Excuse me please for our 5-minute delay. Here we are. We have a lesson today. We are going to talk about character. We covered the topic personality a couple of weeks ago, like maybe months ago. I think it was in December sometime. And these often kind of go hand in hand. So in an effort to not make us all crazy and really focus very much on, is this personality, is this character, I've tried to make it so that our lesson is more or less really focused on character, which is more the deeper side of personality. Personality is really what you share on the outside, and character is something more within. But obviously, these things can kind of float in between the two, between each other. So welcome everyone who's here to give you a bit of an idea. Should you not know who on earth I am, you stumbled across my account and you're like, what is this lady with the crazy earrings doing? She is. Who am I? I am Jen. You can find it running along your screen right here. And I teach conversation English. I'm here with you on Wednesdays typically for a whole lesson, and at least an hour lesson, maybe hour and a half. If you are looking to improve your English, if you want to learn vocabulary, idioms, phrasal verbs, I'm your gal. So come and hang out with me every week. I have a proper lesson for you. It's free. I do it from my heart, so I hope you enjoy it. I hope you have fun. I hope you learn something. I am always open for any kind of comments or critique, anything you have to say. This is your lesson. I provide information for you, and it's for you to color it in, like a coloring book. Yeah, let's think of it like that. I offer you a coloring page, and you can color it any old way you like. So I'm Jen. Follow me here. If you don't already, please, when you're done watching this video, like it. It shows the algorithm that this is not a piece of junk. So that would be really, really cool if you could do that. And I'm going to move on to our first question, which I believe is a poll. Welcome to everybody who's here. I've not seen any comments as of yet, but I see 5 people at least are already here. We'll see who else shows up and who is here. So here's our poll. Okay, so what reveals a person's character most? Would you say A, the way they treat strangers? B, how they act under pressure? So you're in a pinch, you're in a pickle, you could also say, a difficult situation, how you treat others, or how they treat others, or people in general. C, their long-term actions and decisions. And D, the way they talk about others. Now, of we changed our clocks. So on the weekend we changed. So maybe that's why it's earlier now for you. Good, good, good. And Hitoko, I wrote you back, my dear. You wrote that the vocabulary from yesterday was really difficult. I hear you. Should anybody wish for me to send you the list of vocabulary words from yesterday, then you are more than welcome to send me a DM and I will send you the list so you can review it. Mohammed, yesterday you've been on Ewa account after the live with Mike. No, I'm not allowed to do that anymore. Yeah, they've opened it up so another teacher can have the opportunity. I guess it was too much Gen TV. I don't know. So unfortunately, no. Otherwise, I would have loved to have been there. So when I go live with Mike from now on, that is my live stream for the day. And this is why I've tried to create this little tiny lesson for us, a little special lesson. I will try probably in the future to base it on the movie so that we can continue kind of with a topic of the week. I really think that's important. But hello, Karina, darling, in Peru. Hello, Lorena in Italy. And so just so you know, where was I going with this? I had actually a thought. Now it's gone. Anyway, we have our poll question. And of course, I think all of these are super important in a combination to different degrees, let's say. I know what I wanted to say. This lesson is for Ida, who wrote. I don't know if you follow, if all of you are in my membership thingy on Instagram. It's free. Yes, so send me a DM, Hitoko, or I will send you it. Now that I see you say thank you, I will send you some extra information with the words, a list of it with definitions, so you can review it. Maybe I can get the bot to create a little practice test for you to see how much you remember. And if anybody else would like that, send me a DM on Instagram. I don't know how to do that here. I don't know how to send messages here. But yes, so okay, Lorena, my dear, you're keeping us on track, and this lesson today is prepared for Ida because she had suggested in the membership group on Instagram that she would like to have this topic. If you would like to know the topics that I'm going to cover for the next 4 weeks, then you can check out that membership group on Instagram if you don't already belong, and I posted it there. All right, so Lorraine, you said the way they treat strangers. Yes, I think that like when I first met my partner, I watched absolutely like with, the most detail how he treated other people, because sure, he's going to be nice to me, right? It's the beginning, but because his heart was open and helpful and kind and loving to everyone around him. Hello, Michaela, sweetie. Welcome. We've got all of our old team here. We're just missing Alicia, Renate, and Eric. And Yuki, wherever Yuki is. So, okay. So anyway, so maybe they will join in a bit. Yeah, so I always watched what he did to see with how he treated other people. I think also under pressure, maybe that's situations. For me, that doesn't judge a person's character so much, not as much as A, and their long-term actions and decisions. And I don't know, long-term for me throws that off a little bit. I would say the way what people say and what they do, it's easy to talk a lot and to do nothing. So yeah, I think that's also an important one. And last but not least, the way they talk about others. Yes, if I meet someone and I feel like that all they do is talk poorly about other people, I know the second I walk away, what are they going to do? They're going to talk badly about me. So I am not that special. So yeah, that I would definitely end up on that list as well. So that's our first little warm-up question here. Where is the link of the group on Instagram? Hey, Alessio, dear, welcome, welcome. So an A, everybody's going with A. Okay, the group on Instagram. Thank you for asking. Let me see how I can show you this the easiest. It's going to be is horrible. So when you go on Instagram, you have here, I hope that you have here, like it says English with Jen update. So the little two talking emojis, the little two talking bubbles. And then when you click on that, then you find out, then I always give little updates in here for people. And in here, I also just posted this. This is going to be the different live streams we have for the next month. But I always give a little, so links to different things and a little bit of this and that behind the scenes. Okay, so everybody's saying A. Let's boogie on to our next thing. We have some idioms to cover. And let's see. So here are some idioms. This is so tiny for me. Can y'all see this okay? For me, B and D. Let's go back real quick. I want to see. So B, hold on. B was how they act under pressure. Okay. And D, the way they talk about others. Yes. For me, it's kind of, for me, B, not so much, because sometimes people just don't deal well with pressure and you're not constantly under pressure. But maybe to each his own. This is a poll question. It's an opinion thing. So here we go. If you can read it. So Yuki, you say you can read it. Okay. Okay, good. Thank you. For me, it is so tiny that I'm going to move to the bigger screen. So here we go. Number 1, actions speak louder than words. Number 2, a people person. 3, show one's true colors. And 4, talk the talk and walk the walk. And Alessia, when I hear this nowadays, I think of you because you used it recently, I think when we talked about personality. So yeah, character is very similar to that. That's why we're doing a little mini lesson on this. I dug through our personality lesson and made sure that we have new things to explore, that we're not doing the same thing, because for me, personality and character are kind of similar in a way. As a psychologist, I'm sure that somebody would say characters from inside, it's the internal things you've got going on, and personality is more what you show, but they go hand in hand somehow. All right, our definitions. A friendly person who listens well. B, to say and do the right things. C, to show your true personality, often when you least expect it. And D, actions are more important than words in showing who you are. So Michele, Alessio, and Lorena are all going with D. Actions speak louder than words. Actions are more important than words in showing who you are. And I agree. Actions do speak louder than words. Words are cheap. Actions show really what you're trying to do. Sorry. Okay, number 2. Let's see. A people person. I like this expression. Are any of these new for you? Do you know them all already? I think they're kind of self-explanatory, but these are idioms that people really do use. So like I say to my kids all the time, they tell me I'm going to he's going with B question mark. And Lorena and Alicia are saying A. So the answer for number 2, a people person, is A, a friendly person who listens well. So a people person is a person who loves to be around other people. I only know one. Oh, good. Wonderful. So a people person, they can totally relate to people. They get along well with people. This concept of me time is not so important, perhaps. For me, I can be a people person, but I'm also very introverted. So I need to like go back into my little shell and sort of, come back to my inner peace in a way. So I'm a people person, but only to a certain extent. I would say I'm about 40%. What score would you give yourself? How much of a people person are you? I'm about 40%, 40 to 60, sometimes 80, depends on the day. But typically more, like I would say less than more. What would you say about yourself? How much of a people person are you? I love people and talk the talk, and I love people that talk the talk and walk the walk. Absolutely. Me too. You love Germans, all right? That's Germans for you. They tell you it like it is. And I love that about Germans. Absolutely. It's the best. Usually. Unless it's something harsh. Okay, so let's see. Let's move on then to number 3, show one's true colors. What can you tell me? Show one's true colors. Number 1 was D, number 2 was A. What is it? It depends on the people, 50%. Yeah. Okay, so about 50-50 as a people person. I'm definitely less. I think that people think I'm more of a people person than I am. I have my moments where I can be very there, and then I need to go away and hide. So yeah. So 3, thank you, Lorena, keeping us on track here. So Yuki saying C, Karina's hello, Karina dearly. Oh, I said to you earlier, hello. So yes, C, exactly. 3, C, show one's true colors. C, to show your true personality, often when you least expect it. He showed his true colors when he spoke so poorly to that waitress. You could see that he just is only nice to people when he thinks he can get something out of them. But if he feels superior, then not. He showed his true colors. He's probably a jerk. 4, Talk the talk and walk the walk. My favorite little expression that will always be linked to my brain, to Alessio. Last but not least, we've had C, we've had A, we've had D, so that means we've got B. To say and do the right things. Is that it? No. Four is B. Yes, to say and do the right things. But for me, it's a little, I don't know. I think it's a little more like you say what you're going to do. You say something that you're going to do it, and then you actually do it. So you are really legit. You do the things that you say you're going to do, and there's not some sort of fakeness going on. All right. Got our first banner for us today. Let me get rid of the slide and let's see what you think about this. What life experiences do you think shape a person's character the most? So let's think about different stages in our lives and what shapes it? What are the things that shape things for us? I love D people. Which were D people again? Hold on. D people were, talk the talk and walk. Me too. Me too. So, So what can you tell me? Number one, our first banner of the day. What life experiences do you think shape a person's character and the most? So starting from like childhood and moving on to being an elderly person. What can you tell me? So definitely being born. That's the first one. Being born, I guess, shapes your character. And that's an experience. What else can you tell me? I have basically 12 things on my list. I'm curious to see what kinds of things that you say can match this as well, just to kind of get us started here. So childhood up with unloving parents, that can definitely affect our character. Education and schooling, childhood experiences, exactly, Yuki, right? Experience in childhood shape the personality. Family dynamics for children, sure, absolutely. Like if you are your dad's favorite and your mom resents you, that's going to shape your character for sure. Or if you are the firstborn or the lastborn or in the middle, that shapes your character. Family dynamics, that was that. To be loved, that shapes you as well. Then we have like personal challenges can shape our character over time. I think then like maybe in high school and how well you do in school, I find that for kids it's really tough. If you are not a great student in school, then your time until you go into like to college, until you become a young adult, you don't have, unless you're great at sports or great at music, if you're not good in school, then it really sets you for this sort of feeling of not really being a successful person. Because the way our school is set up, that really kind of influences you, how you feel about yourself, which nowadays everybody knows there are lots of different types of intelligences, and that it's not just about being book smart, it's about being street smart and creative and emotionally intelligent. But in my day and age, and maybe with some of you in your day and age, if you are not good in school, you didn't feel really good about yourself. You didn't feel like that can really shape your character, unfortunately. Michaela, you've written health issues, most definitely. Those can affect the way your character, if you have different health issues. Loss of life, grief, that kind of thing. Positive thing, you can have a mentor that can shape your life and to be a good support system for you. The family and school and sometimes teachers may shape the character for sure. Education and career. So your education, where you go to school, with whom you go to school, divorce, yeah, that can shape things as well, can shape your character. Also, the road to divorce can definitely shape your character. Let's see. So spiritual and religious experiences also can shape your character. Being someone who volunteers and helps out in the community can be something that also shows you the good that you get from giving, and that can also be something that influences your character. All right, so let's get into judging character. Let's get all judgy for a second, and let's see what we've got here. I think it's this one here. Oh, no, hold on. Let me see what I'm doing. Number 4, I don't know where that is. Let me see. I think I've mixed something up here. I hope I have this. We'll go through these real quick. Let me see what my question. How do you determine? So it's actually 3 questions, and I think I've missed this slide. Let me take a look real quick and see if I have downloaded it. And if I have, then I will add it. Otherwise, I will just ask you these. Okay, nope, something's strange here. So question, and I can type it in so that everybody has it. How do you determine if someone has a good or bad character? Oops. How do you determine if someone has a good or a bad character? What are some things that you look for? How do you determine if someone has a good or bad character? And here we go. I'll post it and then I will pin it up here for everyone to see. Why is that not working? There you go. Okay, here we go. So what do you think? What can you tell me? What are some things that you look for? I think that for me, some of the things I look for is what we had in our poll question. I absolutely look to see how people treat others. Absolutely. How if people are talking poorly behind someone's back, that's something that really bothers me. That doesn't mean that someone can't say, this is driving me crazy. Why is this person doing this? That's one thing. And it's another when when you know someone's just being horrible. So I think people can vent and it doesn't mean anything poor. Hello, Juan Carlino. Hello. So that doesn't mean anything bad, but I think that, somebody's constantly going, did you see what she was wearing? Did you, that kind of stuff. Ugh, no, that's not for me. So I always look for that to see if someone has a good or a bad character. If someone talks about using someone, like, I'm going to get that out of them. I'm going to get this from them. I look at that kind of stuff. I try to listen in between the words sometimes too, but this is only focusing on the negative. If somebody treats someone wonderfully, then I notice that as well. Anything else that you can tell me? 3 is C. I don't know where you are, my dear. So how do you determine if someone has a good or a bad character? Anybody else have anything else they would like to add to that? If not, we will move to our next question in this whole list. Let me see. So the other question is, have you ever misjudged someone's character? Have you ever accidentally judged someone in a negative way, or maybe even the opposite way? What can you tell me? I believe that I believe that how someone behaves is challenging, or high pressure situations often reveal their true nature. Okay. Be kind to the vulnerable, like animals, children, and elderly. All right. Okay, good. And have you ever had a situation where you misjudged someone? I have so many times, and every time this happens to me, I feel horrible. It's usually misjudging someone in a negative way, where I think, nah. And I always feel bad in these situations, because when you're wrong, you're really wrong. And it's hard sometimes to not be superficial and to say, this person looks a certain way, or they say a certain thing in a certain way, and to not put them in a box. But when you first meet someone, to just keep an open mind and listen to everything. And I've done this in my life, and I'm not proud of it, but I'm human, and we can only learn from it. And to try to remain open until you have all the facts kind of sorted out for yourself, I think. Then let's see. let's move on to the number 4, a story. And now these two things, being polite and impolite, are really more sort of personality things. It's not so much character. It can be character, but it's kind of more personality. But we're going to play anyway. Let's talk first about where we are. And I've labeled the gentleman polite, and I've labeled the lady rude. And so in this situation, I think it's a fun kind of a little activity to practice your English and to be both polite and rude, let's try to create a kind of a bit of a story in the sense of just saying sentences, saying things that these two people might say in this situation. I guess if people are honest. Okay. So what kinds of things could the polite gentleman say in this situation? And what kinds of things would the rude person say in this situation? I don't know why. By her posture, I just feel like she's going to say something rude. I don't know. I determine okay, Alessia, sorry, now I'm with you. So you're answering like how you would tell if someone is a good person or not. Yes, being honest. I determine how that person behaves to someone else yes. I don't like to judge anyone. I try to put me in people's situations to understand. Me too. It doesn't always work. I'm honest, I'm human, but I try to do the same thing. I try not to judge. I try to be tolerant, because the times in which I didn't judge, in which I was tolerant, there's usually a reason why someone is the way that they are. I totally agree with you, Karina. Nowadays, being kind has been seen as a weakness. You think so? Oh gosh. Okay. That's horrible. I don't want to live in a world like that. uh, I don't know. I think I'm very kind. I can be horrible too, don't get me wrong. But I think that if you are secure in yourself and you know nobody can play you so easily, it's easy to be kind. If you have to be super like cool with yourself, and then you can be super kind to other people, because if they're going to try to do something horrible to you, it doesn't really work. So if you know where you stand, if you have your feet grounded. So what are some things that our polite person would say in this scenario? What are some things our rude person would say in this scenario that would kind of reveal their character? Maybe this is even a first date and they're sort of sizing each other up. Let me put that in, sizing each other up. Nice little idiom here. When you're trying to sort of figure out where you stand, where they stand on something, you size each other up. When I meet someone polite, I am surprised. Really? That's okay. That's sad. Okay, so for me, with a polite guy, I think that he would say, "Oh, please order first." As that would be something polite that he could say. The waiter is standing there, although he's got food in his hand, so I don't know. But that would be something that in a restaurant scenario would totally work. And she would just say, "I want the salad," instead of like, "I would like the salad, please." So she would say something a little bit more rough and a little less fine-tuned. In this case, the polite guy, maybe he would say, "Should we order a bottle of wine? What would you like?" You could also say, "Oh, I have a question about the menu, please." Another way of saying that. Yours is more formal, no problem, very nice, but just to have options. And with a rude person, they would say, "What's on the menu? What's the special?" Would definitely say that, but it would all be about the tone in which you say it. If you said it was sort of like a superior vocal fry, Kim Kardashian sort of voice. Vocal fry is that voice that you hear a lot of Americans use nowadays. And if they did it like that, it would sound really rude, especially without a please. She looks down on the waiter, right? She looks down on him like, you know, she's very like, my wine in my hand, you know, serve me kind of thing. Anyway, so as a rude person, she could say something like that. And he could say, you know, please feel free to order whatever you like on the menu, maybe please and thanks to be polite. Absolutely. You cannot please and thank enough in English. Also, excuse me or I'm sorry. These are words in English we use all the time that probably drive a lot of foreigners crazy. Like Peter, he's always like, you know, you don't have to say sorry, you know, or like if I sneeze, he's like, excuse me. And it's like 15 times. It's like, don't say it anymore. And I'm like, no, I don't want to untrain this, you know, because I think it's better to be on the side of polite than it is to be on the side of not so polite. It looks shallow sometimes. I will write that when you act polite. To some people in some countries, because it's just a different level. Like for Germans, a lot of Germans think that Americans are shallow with their please and thank yous and excuse me's and I'm sorry's, but it's just a cultural thing. This is how we talk to each other. And this is sort of for us being civil. And that they don't do it in German kind of feels weird for me. The young lady definitely doesn't like her partner because you can't be rude to someone you care about or like. Definitely. I love it, Karina. Okay, so let's move on then to our next point. I have a new banner for us. Shallow, does everybody know that word? When you're very superficial, when it's only on the surface and it's not very deep. And so a lot of, like when you go into a store in the United States, people say, hi, how can I help you? Or how are you? How's your day? And a lot of people in Germany, for example, feel that this is Americans being shallow because they just want you to spend money in their shop. And that's probably true, but I would much rather give my money to someone who's acting nice to me than someone sitting behind the counter, like it was when I first moved to Germany in 1996. And they're like, yeah, you know, I would much rather someone be fake nice to me than to not care at all. I'm trying to say thank you all the time. Perfect. You can't go wrong. Thank you and please and all of those things in English are always right. It's never creepy. Well, I guess it can be creepy, but usually it's a good thing. Okay, here we go. Kind of a long question here. Do you think modern society values good character as much as it used to? This is, I think, Alessio, you said this, or one of my Italian friends said that they don't run into polite people anymore. Maybe it was Lorena or Michela, I'm not sure. Do you think that modern society values good character as much as it used to? If not, how have these changed in modern society? So maybe we can think about things that are different nowadays when we talk about character, because a lot of things have changed. Social media in general has changed a lot of the way that we behave in society, I find. Can you think of some things? I have some things here. Like I find, for example, with social media, you know, you'll have people that will troll people, that will say the meanest stuff. I get it all the time. Not as much as I would think I would, but I do. I get trolling, right? When there's like somebody wrote yesterday on the comments, oh, you shouldn't use so much Botox. I'm like, really? Thank you. I spent an hour and something planning, like hours and hours planning this lesson, and this is the thing that you need to say. It's so ridiculous. Nobody would ever say this to you. A stranger would never say this to you in your face. But internet has made it possible that you say really crappy things to people that you don't even know, that are not even in context. If they had said this is the world's most boring lesson, I would say you have a right to your own opinion. Watch another teacher, you know. But like Anyway, could you repeat the question? Absolutely. I feel like in Italy, young generations are untrained to say thank you, to say excuse me, thanks, and sorry. So my question, my dear, was this: do you think, it's right here, do you think modern society values good character as much as it used to? If not, how have these traits changed in modern society? So my first example is, because of technology, people just feel that they can write horrible things and it doesn't really matter. But the person who is reading those horrible things, it matters maybe to them. And so I grew up with a concept: if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. And so, yeah, so that's kind of, no worries, no worries. And so for me, it's a little strange nowadays that people actually take the time to say something that to someone they don't know, and it's completely off topic. It has nothing to do with anything, and it's just being mean. So I don't understand that. I find that in the old days, way back when, 15 years ago, people didn't do that. You didn't write mean things to people. You didn't say that. You didn't have that opportunity, but it just wasn't something that's become more and more common. It's something that's not a good character. And I think if people behaved, if people behaved in the way that they would when they saw that person, I doubt these people would say this to my face. Valued the same no matter the time. Yes, but I think the values have changed a little bit. Like, I don't think that, I think many people think it's not okay to troll someone. But on the other hand, still people do it. And so for me, when somebody trolls me in an Instagram live, then I kick them out. I block them right away. It doesn't bother me. I really don't care. I'm 52. I'm not here to be someone's eye candy. If they think I look like I'm the queen of Botox or a melting crown, I don't care. But I do know there's a lot of people who are also teachers who are younger than me, and maybe they don't have the thick skin that I have. And I block them because if they can be horrible to me, they can be horrible to them. So screw them. So I block them. Anyway, but that's one thing. And there are other things, of course. I think that also, if people used to be way more family oriented, and now it's a little bit less, at least in the Western culture. I just watched the movie Adolescence, and I think we have been too permissive with our children. These are things that need to change, especially accompanying them through their life. Was that a documentary, Karina? That sounds interesting. Yes, I agree. I don't know that I taught my kids enough about that too. I hope they don't. I think that, like, my daughter, like, somebody kind of wrote something mean to me here on YouTube, and my daughter got upset and wrote to them. And I'm like, don't do that. Just leave it. I don't care. So I should say to her, don't do that. Just don't engage, or try to walk the high road. Sorry, Jen, I missed the point about the verb troll. What does that mean? Thank you for asking. Okay, so to troll, this is a term we use on internet when an internet troll, when someone goes and they write horrible comments about someone, then that is called a troll. They troll someone. And that is that. But I don't know what I'm hooked up to here. So I'm trying to get my cables sorted here. Yeah, so that's an internet troll, somebody who writes horrible comments to people. And the verb is called trolling. When someone does that, it's called trolling. Little bit of internet talk here for you. They're not family oriented. Yes. I think if you grow up in a family, you have multiple generations, you're used to all different kinds of people, you can have space for different people. And yeah, And you grow up with different personalities. So maybe that's also sort of one of the things that come from it as well. I think another thing that has changed, I see it with myself. I'm actually a very private person, and I display a lot of things with social media that kind of change in a way my character, where I go through life and I'm like, oh, I can turn this into a reel, or I can use this to teach this. And it's not good or bad. It's a change in my character where I have become more open to sharing things about myself, because I'm not really a sharer. It's always a little uncomfortable for me. And so just because, I don't know, this is my private time, or, I think, why do I want to bore people? I don't know if you know this about yourself, that you share nowadays a lot more than you used to. I am very angry because I missed 38 minutes of this live. I am very sorry you missed 38 minutes of this live. It was scheduled here. And if you follow my Instagram account, you will find, always list, do a little timer thingy. And it's always at 38 minutes before this, 44 minutes before this. But if you follow here, you will find a link always that will remind you, or if you click the bell, I think that will remind you. Anyway, happy to have you here. Don't be mad. Be happy. You got it. We're still here. So sharing a lot more information about ourselves nowadays, I think, is kind of, it changes one's character. It's one thing if you go through life and you experience something for yourself, or you go through life and you experience something to share with others on social media. Big difference. I think respect for authority, that has changed character as well. When I grew up, the teacher was the king or the queen. You had nothing to say. And nowadays it's the opposite, where the child is the king or the prince or the princess, and the teacher has nothing to say. I don't know how it is in your country, but that's how it is in the States. That's how it is here in Germany. I would not want to be a teacher in schools nowadays. I think the way it was when I grew up is also not okay, but something in the middle. I read before, in France, the restaurants had to a menu with one prices, and the other one wasn't for the women. So, Mohammed, if I understand correctly, in France, that they have menus with the prices, and I guess they would give the prices, the menu with, then the one without the prices is the one the women would get. Help me out. I think that's how I understand it. Anyway. Okay, let's move on to moral and ethical character, and let's see what we've got. Let me get rid of trolling. I hope trolling is clear now. It's a good, oops, sorry, I don't know what I'm clicking on. All these things here. Let me get rid of this. Boop. And yeah, so trolling is a good internet word to know, not to be, not to do. So it's a noun and a verb, to troll and to be a troll. All right, so morals and ethics. Can someone have a good personality and a weak character? Why or why not? And number two, do you believe people are naturally good, or is character something that must be built? What do you think? And I guess kind of also what goes into this, I'm too tired. Oh, sorry. It's okay, sweetie, sleep tight. So, or do you think that today that character is something you are born with? What can you tell me? Is it something you're born with, something you can learn? What can you tell me? I think it's a combination, I have to say. I think it's something in between. You're born with it, but you also kind of shape it as you live your life. And maybe, I wonder if character is also something that's slightly genetic. I don't know if any of you have much experience in science, but I'm curious to hear what you have to say. I'll just flip up our next slide just to continue on. If you are writing to answer this, we will take time to honor your answer. No worries whatsoever, but just to kind of stay on schedule here. All right, so I have another banner for us. And so All right. So sometimes we have in life that people kind of, and here's the question right here. What can people do to rebuild trust if their character is questioned? So sometimes we do things and we lose the trust of other people, right? Nobody is perfect. And sometimes people lose our trust. So what are some things that we can do to rebuild trust? It's a combination, as you said. I think character is genetic. It's hard to change. Ooh, interesting. Okay, it is a combination, and we are shaped by life experiences. I think a combination too. I think people build their character through different experiences. Yeah. So something in between somehow. I think it will be interesting in the next 5 or 6 years, the more that is done with genetics to see like what kinds of character traits are actually genetic. Like, if some being stubborn, if you just can't help it, but like you're like, "Ugh, I'm gonna do this, I have to have it this way," if that's not genetic or not. According to Kant, it is a character that should be improved, but the seed of good existed in our nature. So, okay, if I understand correctly, Q here, so according to Kant, character that we have that people are born good, I guess is what you're saying, and then it's our job to improve that. Am I correct? Because I don't know what Kant said. Not on that one. Anyway, so people screw you over, you lose trust. You screw someone else over, and you lose their trust. What are some things you can do to try to rebuild that? It's not that it's just gone forever, perhaps, depending on what happened, right? So what are some things that you can do? So the first one that I have on my list is to acknowledge the issue. Just being honest and saying, you know what? I know I screwed up. I made a mistake. I did something wrong. First step helps to make people be more open to rebuilding trust in your character. That would be one option. Another one, well, you're answering as well, is to apologize, to say an apology and to really mean it, to focus on themselves, okay, on their selves. Also, to be consistent. So if you say in the future you're going to do something, you do it. So when my daughter says that she's going to research universities and that by Thursday, by tomorrow, she has promised us that she's going to narrow her list down to 3 schools, she can help us to have more faith in her character, that she's going to rebuild trust, that she's going to follow through when she calls us and says, these are the universities I'm interested in. Actively working to address the concerns can demonstrate change and growth. Right. And like being very open about it. Like, look, I'm trying to be early. I'm trying to be on time. I'm trying to rebuild trust. Or look, hey, I'm on time. Yay. Yes, goodness is something existed naturally, but should be improved. Otherwise, it may turn to evil, as I understood it. Okay, thank you for sharing that. Try to focus on positive aspects of character. So stay positive, definitely. Focus on the good. Another one is to be transparent. So like to just be open. This is a good word. Maybe this is not clear. Transparent is something you can see through. Transparent. And so if a person is transparent, you can see what they mean. We hear this a lot in politics nowadays. Like Trump said, we're going to have a government that's transparent. Biden said the same thing. Every politician says the same thing. You're going to know where your money goes. Transparency. So a person can be transparent, government can be transparent, but when you're transparent, you're showing people this is who I am, this is what I'm doing, so that you can try to rebuild trust. Another thing would be to accept the fact that someone's going to be upset with you. Or that you're upset with someone else. So that can be another thing too, is sometimes it's like we think, okay, if they apologize or if I apologize, everything is going to be okay, but maybe not. Maybe it needs a little time for that person to absorb it, to take it in, and the same for you, and to allow ourselves the time to be, to have those feelings, to be honest with yourself, to be open to other people. Exactly. They should try to go to the psychology to a psychologist. Psychology is the study and the psychologist is the person. Thank you. And to work out a lot, and yoga could also help for sure. Great, guys. Okay, cool. So I have a couple of people who have really good characters. So this is a little guessing game, okay? And if after we have guessed the person, if you would like to add any other information, you're more than welcome to do so. It's a nice way to practice the language. So this is my first guess who person, okay? So here, what are some fixes? Okay, this person spent 27 years in prison and led his country through a peaceful transition from apartheid to democracy. Who is he, and why is he admired? Why is his character admired? I'll repeat, it's a lot, okay? This person spent 27 years in prison and then led his country through a peaceful transition from apartheid to democracy. Who is he and why is he admired? To accept your flaws. Yes, to be honest with yourself, accept your flaws. Absolutely, Lorena. And I love this word, flaws. Here, I'm going to put this up there. F-L-A-W-S. These are your mistakes, your flaws. A great word for mistake, a flaw. Okay, and we have our guest here from Q. Thank you very much. And Nelson Mandela is our answer. Do you know anything about Nelson Mandela? Why was his character so respected? What kinds of things, what kind of adjectives would you add to Nelson Mandela to describe him? What can you tell me? Anyone? I have a couple here to share with you. For Nelson Mandela, he spent 27 years in prison, led his country through a peaceful transition from apartheid to democracy, and he is known for lots of nice things. For example, for forgiveness. He was a great leader, absolutely. Forgiveness was one of his strengths of character, and integrity. Defend the rights of Black people, right? Hello, welcome. And also resilience. Defend the rights of Black people. Yes, okay, there we go. Resilience. I'll pop that word up. Respectful for human equality. Exactly. Resilience. And resilience is when we've had this word multiple times. I'll just add it just again because I think I'm repeating vocabulary words because I know for myself and learning German, the more it's repeated, the more I'm going to remember it because I am lazy. I'm not going to review vocabulary. So I'm just going to guess you are too. So resilience, when you can fight back, when you bounce back, when something knocks you down, you get back on your feet and you continue on, then you are resilient. You are resilient, and you have resilience. He was a visionary, compassionate, great words, guys. He's kind of like Martin Luther King. Yes, okay. Inspirational, visionary, compassionate, great words. I think the culture aspect, change between generations, the culture acceptance of difference between generations. That's my answer for question 2. Oh, Mohammed, I think are you rewatching the live? Okay, I think you're a little back. Okay, we're on Martin Luther King, and so resilient and integrity. He did what he said he was going to do. Integrity. Integrity. And what I think is great about integrity is that with Nelson Mandela is that he tried to bring white and black together. It's not like he said, we now are the black people, we have power, let's get back at all of the other people. He said, no, we're all here. Let's accept this. Let's move on. Let's find freedom with each other. Let's find forgiveness. Let's find ways to make things work. And yes, and I think that's so inspirational, Michaela. Humane, great word. I love this word. So we are humans, and when us humans behave in a good way, humane, humane. That's the way that's pronounced. Peaceful. Great. Okay. So here's our next person. Listen up. I've got another two people for us. So this leader is known for his philosophy of non-violence, independence from British rule. Who is he and what did he believe? This is another person with a great character. What can you tell me? Person with a great character. I am a person who has been misjudged. I am totally against unaware people. I hear you. We all get misjudged at some point, and it's not a good thing. And I think, this is a horrible thing, but sometimes these things that happen to us build our character so we know not to do them to other people. The Black Lives Matter, right? That came from another instance, yes. Okay, so let me repeat the question again. New person. This leader is known for his philosophy of non-violence. Yes, absolutely, Michaela. This leader is known for his philosophy of non-violence and his role in India's struggle for independence from British rule. Who is he and what did he believe? Again? I'll come again. Yeah, exactly, Lorena. Okay, I'll read it once more. So Mahatma Gandhi, this leader is known for his philosophy of nonviolence. He practiced nonviolence. Anything you know about him, go ahead and write it. You're practicing your English. You're filling this with your own words. I love these opportunities for you to have these opportunities in our lesson. So I'll read it again and you can write. This leader is known for his philosophy of nonviolence and his role in India's struggle from independence from British rule. They were a British colony, as you know, and he helped free them. Who is he? What did he believe? And what did he believe? So his character was good. He had a good character. Truth. He honored truth. And then nonviolence. Oh, why did that happen? Hold on. Let me just finish writing this word. Violence. And I'll flip myself around here. That's easy to fix. I don't know why that happened, but okay. Oops. There we go. Truth, nonviolence. And what else do I have on here? And justice. Justice. When you want fairness for the world. Justice. Justice for all. So justice. Nonviolence, truth, spiritual, ethical, humble. I believe Mandela suffered a lot, and that's why he had the strength to endure and to look for love in his health through God. Beautiful. The most influential advocate of nonviolence, focused on moral living and cultivating inner peace. Copied from the internet. Way to go. Internet served you well. Gandhi is a person of justice. Exactly. Okay, so let's move on to our last but not least, third person with a good character. Okay, totally different set of characteristics. Let's see. This is very specific, so I don't know if you know this one or not. Let's see. He fought for social and political change. Absolutely. Okay. This woman's refusal to give up her seat on a segregated bus became a pivotal act in the civil rights movement in the United States. Who is she and what did she inspire? I'll read it again. This woman's refusal to give up her bus became a pivotal, means like a changing act in the civil rights movement. Who is she and what did she inspire? And maybe you do not know this woman. Americans know her. She is a very big figure and when you learn about civil rights in the United States. So maybe you don't know. If you don't, I'll tell you. So who is she and what did she? We have a lot of silence going on. So this woman, I'll tell you who she is. Rosa Parks. Yeah, no stress, Renette. Rosa Parks, exactly. Thank you, Lorena. So you know the story, didn't know the name. So Rosa Parks, so very famous story. Back in the South in the 1960s, it was so that things were segregated. I'll pop this on the screen, segregated. So public places were segregated. Forgot the name exactly. Rosa Parks, no problem. We got it. So and so like white people and black people couldn't eat in the same area in a restaurant. They had separate water fountains to drink water on a bus. The white people sat in one area, the black people sat in another area. So it was segregated. I'll pop this on there, segregated. And she was tired one day. And this is when all of this was going on in the South, always was, but this is when it started to become a big news. Later, yes, Martin Luther King joined. And so, and she was tired and I don't know, something had happened that day. And she just went and sat in the bus and I think it was up front. And I think that black people had to sit in the back of the bus and she refused to move. She's like, no, I'm tired. I don't want to move anymore. I don't want to get up and move to the back of the bus. I'm staying here. And this caused a big scene and then it became a big news story. And it was one of these moments that sort of kick-started the civil rights movement where people said, this is just not okay. This has to stop. This is ridiculous. And so she is known because she inspired change. She stood her ground and she inspired change with her strong character. Okay, so that's the last of our little guess who's. I hope you had fun with that. And let's move on to some phrasal verbs and see what you've got for that. Okay, again, this is so tiny for me, so I'm going to read it from here. So stand up for something or someone, own up to something, rise above something, stick to something, and turn out to be. These are all really good ones. I hope that these are new and some new ones for you. Rosa Parks was really upset. Yeah, she was just not having it. And it was good she didn't. She was not having any of it. Enough is enough. I'm sitting here. All right, so here are our definitions. We have A, to take responsibility for one's mistakes. B, to defend beliefs or people even in difficult situations. C, to reveal one's true character over time. D, to remain committed to beliefs, values, or decisions. E, to overcome difficult or bad influences while maintaining integrity. All right, so number one, to stand up for something. Renate, my dear, you have our first answer coming in. We'll go through these semi-quickly. Let's see. Oops, let me see where we are here. All right. Yeah, so let's see. To stand up for something or someone, we have lots of B's here. So then let's say, you're right, it's B. To defend people or beliefs, even in difficult situations. Absolutely. Stand up for yourself, stand up for someone else, stand up for a purpose or yes, something of that nature. All right, moving on. To own up to. I hope this is a new one. This is good. To own up to something. What do you think? Just take some guesses, even if you don't know. This is a good one. I'm sorry, I'm so thirsty today. I have this thing where my mouth is really dry these days. Sorry about that. So we have an A, we have a D. What else do we have as a guess? We have another A. Any other guesses? A and D. Let's see what we have. Oops. All right, so the answer for those of you who answered A, you are correct. To own up to something is A, to take responsibility for one's mistakes. You have to own up to the things you do incorrect. Hello to you. Hello to you from Kalamazoo. My Russian wife is listening to you. That rhymes. I love that. I'm glad your Russian wife is listening to me. I hope she follows my account and comes back every week and starts to answer things for herself here. That would be awesome. Hello to y'all. All right, so it's E. Okay, so I'm sorry. So yes, so A. Moving on to number 3, then we have rise above something. And Renit, you are saying E, to rise above something, and you are correct. E is to overcome difficulties or bad influences while maintaining integrity. Exactly. To rise above it. When somebody does something wrong to you, sometimes it's better to rise above that situation and let it go in one ear and out the other. Rise above it. Don't worry about it. Like, let it go. Rise above it. All right, then let's see. Number 4, stick to something. To stick to something. This is a good one. So number 1 was B, 2 is A, or sorry, yeah, 2 is A, 3 is E, 4, Renit is going with D, and so is Lorena. So that's true. Okay, so to stick to something, 4 is D, to remain committed to beliefs, values, or decisions, to stick to your plans, stick to your decision, stick to the thing that you have been wanting to do. You stay with it, you stick with it, and you're able to continue doing it, and probably you're going to succeed if you do that. You have a better chance of success, obviously. And last but not least, oops, I've lost my thing here. I cannot see this tiny print. I hope y'all can see that. To turn out to be. So last but not least, 5 is C, turn out to be, stick to learning English. Ding, ding, ding. Stick to joining here every week. Stick to coming to classes. Yes, Joko, perfect. All right, so turn out to be. 5 is C, to reveal one's true character over time. That person turned out to be such a wonderful person, or that person turned out to be, a piece of work. So you to turn out to be, to mean in the long run, something happens in a person is a certain type of person. And so that's how you can use that, something turn out to be. So out of curiosity, maybe you can tell me, out of these 5, how many did you know of these? How many were new, or how many did you know? So maybe you can let me know that. I'm curious, because I feel like we've not repeated any of these before. I think these are all very new. I like to do some repeaters, but I think that these are really good ones to know. They help you to be able to express things. So 3, I guess 3 were new, or 3 you already knew? 2 were new, actually. Okay, good, 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 good. Known, 0%, no way. Okay, good, cool, cool, cool. I will post these slides on Instagram, most likely, maybe even here. Maybe I'll just do them here. All new for me. Cool, 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 cool. Okay, good. So then what we'll do is I'll post them here, because I don't have anything to do with this topic on Instagram this week. Post them here probably in a day or 2, and then you can review them. And I think that since so many of them are new for you, 1 was new. Okay, Renette. Which one was new? I'm curious. And then you can test yourself again in a couple of days and see how it goes. Because these are good ones to know. And if you want to do any kind of sample sentences, you can either write them to me on Instagram, or you can write them in the comments. You know, it takes me a day or 2 or 3 to get back to you, but I will get back to you. All right, let's see where we're headed to next. Phrasal verbs, and then now we are doing a little banner. Let me get rid of this, and let's see. Okay, so Do you judge a person's character when you first meet them? And what do you notice? And for our folks out there who don't wish to be judgmental, I totally get it. Own up to. Okay, cool. Is a new one. All right, 2 are new for you, Alessio. Okay, cool. So, yeah. So when we first meet someone, even if we're the best person on the planet, we still judge. Judging is not necessarily a bad thing, right? But there are things that we look at someone. These are our first impressions of a person, and we kind of try to get a sense for their character, right? So what are some things that you look at and that you noticed when you first meet a person? What are some things that you look at, notice when you first meet a person? What can you tell me? I don't know what I did. I finally made myself bigger. People have weird things too, where it's like for them it's a sign of character. So I'm curious to hear what you have to say. I have a list too here. I have a list of about 15 things that people typically notice when they first meet a person that kind of sets out to size up, to use that again, that little idiom, to size up a person's character. Oops. Character. Okay, to size up a person's character. Whoops, sorry, didn't mean to do that. Hold on. Just there we go. Chemistry, like it, right? You just feel what you feel with a person. Can't help it. It's not judgmental. It's just chemistry. Not really. I need to know someone deeply before I know his or her character. But what are the subtle clues? Because Renee, I can't remember. I just saw a documentary today with Zuckerberg, and I think it's like 125 or 150 people. That's the maximum amount of friends a person. I give up. Oh, sorry, sweetie. Good night, darling. Sleep tight. That is the maximum number of people that a person can know. Right? That's the maximum. So when we meet someone, then there's typically something that helps us to sort of, do I want to get closer to that person or not? So this kind of thing. So chemistry. So we often look at body language to kind of see what a person's character is like. If they're standing sort of like this, and looking at the ground, then we might sort of feel if a person is secure or insecure. I notice the tone in speech, right? So like my daughters used to talk like this, you couldn't understand a word she said. And now she's like very loud and like, really enunciates things. So her character has changed in a way. Character, personality. Hello to you. Hello, hello. Eye contact. Yeah. So you notice someone's eye contact. In some countries, that would be, a negative thing. In a lot of Western cultures, eye contact is important to show a certain strength of character, which I find interesting, right? Like that in the Western world, eye contact is seen as good. And then like maybe the Eastern world, and it's kind of like, no, that's kind of forward. Something really takes my attention, which is he arrogant or humble? Yeah, that can show you too a lot about a person's character. So body language, the way a person speaks, eye contact, a handshake can tell you, is this person a confident person? Is it secure within themselves? Not secure? Again, that can also be a cultural thing. Yucky. I don't know. Let's see, what else have we got? So maybe attention and listening skills can show you how if a person is interested, maybe that goes into being arrogant. If a person doesn't really listen to you, then you may feel that they're only curious about what they have to say. I am not dogs, but smell. Yeah, sometimes people have a certain smell that you're sort of attracted to or unattracted. I mean, we're humans, we're animals, absolutely. I think so, for sure, Hitoko. So energy, definitely feel a person's energy. I guess that also, Hitoko, goes in with your chemistry. Energy, chemistry, all of those things when you first meet a person. Posture, they're slouched over, or if they're upright, that's your posture. his or her trying to teach others something. Posture. Okay. I do, but leave space for doubt. I kind of check if it, yeah. I keep cutting out. I hope you hear me when I do. Yeah, one, I think so, right? Like when you feel someone, you feel like something's kind of like, okay, I'm gonna keep my eye on that. What's going on with that? Don't judge immediately. Keep your mind open. Notice that thing. Allow yourself to have that first instinct, but to keep yourself open to other ideas. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's see. All right, let's see. We're nearly done with our lesson. I've got a poll, some idioms, and another poll, and then we're saying goodbye. If the person listens to me, or if she or he looks around, yes, right? You're trying to talk, and they're like, yeah, and like not really focusing. Totally. I noticed that one. That's definitely a big sign of character for me. That's hard to ignore. Okay, so let's see. Let's do some idioms. And yes, there's our idioms. All right, so idioms for today. Actually, hold on. We'll do idioms. Let's do actually a poll and then idioms, and that mixes it up a little bit. All right, here's our poll. First impressions reflect true character. What's your opinion? A, yes, they are usually accurate. B, sometimes, but people can surprise you. C, no, first impressions can be misleading. Yes, so A, B, or C. Extroverted or introverted person, whether they're sincere or not, if he or she is addicted to the smartphone. Yeah. Okay, so Hitoko's going with, yes, they are usually accurate. Okay, I'm going to go with, I think, A and B. A and B. I like one, I like your stance with honoring your instinct by listening to it and seeing the things, the good, the bad, and the ugly that you feel, but keeping your eye open, keeping your mind open, that is. Okay, so Renit and Alessia are going with B sometimes, but people can surprise you. All right. Any other little guesses here? I'm going to take a sip of water. A and B for me too. A, okay. All right, so it's kind of mixed, I would say. Okay, then let's move on to now our idioms. And let's see. Idioms. So we have number one, to take the high road, which I love this one. Have a heart of gold, a snake in the grass, and two-faced. A is a person who seems friendly, but is secretly dishonest. B, to be very kind and generous. C, someone who acts differently around different people. D, to act with dignity and integrity, especially in difficult situations. So which one works best with to take the high road? B. Karina, that was for you, B, with sometimes it can be surprising. So Renit, you're going with one is D. Any other guesses for one? To take the high road. And I love this idiom. I'm curious again, how many of these idioms are new for you? We have another D coming in. Let's get one more answer. And C, to take the high road. Is that a good thing, a bad thing, something in between? To take the high road. Take the high road. Peter just told me this yesterday. Jen, just take the high road. 1 and 3 are new for me. Awesome. Cool. Okay, so one is D. To take the high road is to act with dignity and integrity, especially in difficult situations. Okay, so like if you have a situation where it would be so easy to react in sort of a silly way, and you say, no, I'm just going to do the right thing. I'm going to ignore it. I'm going to walk away. You take the high road. Sometimes it's easy to answer someone in a negative way, just to be like, you know, a 3 are new. Cool. Oh, good. Okay, so to take the high road. If anybody wants to use an example or think of an example, I'm going to ask the bot because I really love this one. In my opinion, 9 out of 10 times, it's always best to take the high road. Maybe you have a situation in your life that you can think of to take the high road. Take the high road. Yes. Sentences or examples. Let's see. For example, even though she was insulted, she chose to take the high road and walked away without saying a word. So she was mad, she was upset, she had every right, maybe even to be mad and upset, but she said, nope, I'm going to take the high road and I'm just going to walk out of here. Okay, so let's see. Instead of arguing with his coworkers, he took the high road and focused on completing his work. So, all right, 2 examples there with take the high road. Number 2, to have a heart of gold. Which one works really nicely? Which one works best, let's say, with to have a heart of gold? What can you tell me? As I work my way through these beverages. So B, okay, I'm a master at that. I'm taking the high road. Cool. I can sometimes be, but not always. Not always. Sometimes I have to get in there. All right. So to be. Everybody's saying B. Let's see. Oops, I just lost my whole thing here. Okay. To have a heart of gold. 2 is B, to be very kind and generous. So someone can say that Mother Teresa had a heart of gold, or yeah. So somebody who has a very big heart, is open to everyone, wants to help people. They have a heart of gold. Ranit, what do you have to say? After months of criticism by my coworkers, I took the high road and achieved what I wanted. Yeah. Okay, super. Exactly. Took the high road and ignored what they had to say and achieved what I wanted. Yeah. Let's see. Number 3, a snake in the grass. 3 is A, and 3 is A. A snake in the grass is a person who seems friendly, but is secretly dishonest. Number 4, to be two-faced, last but not least, is someone who acts differently around different people. So they show you one personality, and then behind your back, they are a totally different person. With idioms and phrasal verbs, my mind always goes blank. No worries. Mine too, dear. This is why I have the answers here. So, Michaela, in these situations, sometimes, it's just good to write sentences with them. So you're actually using them. It becomes less of an exercise and more of a practice. So if you ever want to use one in a sentence, no worries. Even when after this lesson is saved, you're more than welcome to come back and to try some sentences with them. That will definitely help. Okay, yes. So see, someone who acts a different way. So two-faced people, so many on the world. So unfortunately, they act a certain way, turn around, and then act a different way. Those people are two-faced. How about poker face? I love that. Okay, so Ranit, thank you for your question. A poker face is something where, like, when people play poker, they try not to share their emotions. So if they have a really good hand of cards, it's a blank face, right? You don't know if they're happy. You don't know if they're sad. You don't know if they're freaked out. It's all one face. And so if you have a poker face, it means that you don't show your emotions on your face. It means that you're able to hide your feelings. I do not have a poker face. You always know what I'm feeling. So I have I have the anti-poker face, poker face. So I would be horrible at poker as well, because I would get cards and I would be like, hold on. So poker face is when you can hide the emotions on your face and people don't know what you're feeling. That's a good one, professional. Okay. All right. So let's see. We have our last question of the day, my friends. We too know poker face. Yeah. Two-face is a kind of opposite of talk the talk. Exactly. Yeah, that's true. Talk the talk and walk the walk. Exactly. It's a different type of person. Exactly. Okay. So let's see. Our last one for the day. And let's see. Okay, kind of a little philosophical sort of let's kumbaya in the lesson today, sort of in this sort of way. Gonna take that. Thank you, Renit, for your question. And can a person's character change over time? Yes, people can completely change, or B, somewhat, but their foundation stays the same. Or C, no, character is mostly fixed. Forget it. It is what it is. What do you think? I don't really know. I think I'm out on this one. Can character really change? B. So Toko, you're saying somewhat, but the foundation stays the same. B. I think you can work a lot on yourself. I'm into B. Okay, lots of people into B. B, B, B. It's a sea of B here. I'm scared about that, people. You're scared of, you mean of the two-faced people? Probably. A and B. People can completely change and B. I think you can work on yourself. I think there are things you can change. A, but very difficult. Yeah, I think it's really difficult too. You have to be you have to be really diligent and a hard worker to be able to make that happen. I think it's hard. I think B, pretty much. Yeah, I don't know. BC. I'm kind of at BC. Okay. So, folks, I hope you had a really lovely day today. I would sincerely, sincerely, sincerely appreciate if you don't mind just liking this after our live stream. It shows the Instagram algorithm that we are a great team here and that this is a cool place. For those of you who've hung in there to the bitter end, go ahead and follow this account. Every week we do this, different topic, different theme every week, different, still with idioms, vocabulary, phrasal verbs. For those of you who had a lot of new stuff today, I'm happy about that. That's good. And this is also gives me a chance to repeat some of this stuff in the future. I really only use idioms and phrasal verbs that I know people actually use. So you're not learning junk. If you do invest the time to learn these things, it's not in vain. So you will at some point be able to use him. Ask Alessio. He talks the talk and walks the walk. So yeah, let's see. So Karina, thank you for your last answer, B, as well. Thank you. It was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing, everyone, all of your opinions and everything. I appreciate it for hanging in for an hour and 30 minutes. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you for being here, participating, learning with me, sharing about your life and your community and your thoughts. For me, this is such the biggest joy ever. What I always had dreamed of is to be able to have this nice international community of cool people. And that's what this is. So yeah, have a great rest of the week. And I hope to see you next week. Our topic next week will be spring. Again, for those of you who don't follow my little account on Instagram, I can show that to you right quickly. If you take a look here, and click on there where the little talking signs are, then you are more than welcome. Hello, Carmen. Then you're more than welcome to follow me there. I always do updates. I have the next 3 weeks or 4 weeks actually of lessons mentioned there. Yeah, so you can find out information there. Thank you very much, Karina. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Juan. Thank you, Lorena, Alessia, Michaela, Q. Thank you, everyone. No answer to my question number 3 is to go to a therapist maybe can help him rebuild trust again. Yeah, no, definitely. Absolutely. Sorry, Mohammed. Definitely. Therapy can be a very good thing. If you find the right therapist, therapy is a wonderful thing. Absolutely. Build trust within yourself, and then you can build it within others. All right, folks, have a lovely, lovely day. Take care. Please, please like this, and then it will share this to Instagram, and they'll say, oh, this is not the word, or YouTube, that is. Maybe not Instagram. Anyway, bye.